with that out of the way, let's go on now and talk about grassroots sports in focus football. I want to quickly introduce my partner on the show. We're going to do the first part of the show together. Paschal Agonsi joins me on the show. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for taking out time from your busy schedule to be on the show tonight.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on Sports Tonight.
All right, let's just start by talking about how, we've always had a challenge doing the right things with grassroots. But COVID-19 is a game changer. It has affected. I know you're involved in a lot of things, trying to see how you can contribute your quota to developing football at the grassroots. But first, let's start by talking about how all of those things were hampered by COVID-19.
Well, like you said, COVID-19 was really a game changer. It changed a lot of things, not just for football, but also in the industry. It forced a lot of us to start thinking differently, new ways. And I think it was a blessing in disguise for grassroots football, because we really needed to start thinking in a new way of how to take the football forward. So I think COVID-19 was a blessing. It really, forces us to think, about the sport. Most especially because for every football industry now, the focus is about, exporting their content instead of exporting players, which grassroots football in Nigeria has been all about.
All right, so before we can talk about solving problems, we have to identify, and that will take us to what you were doing. But what are the problems, basically? I know it was a challenge even before COVID. What are the problems? What did you see? You just talked about one. We seem to be more interested in play football, travel abroad. We're not interested in the structure, which is just, are you good playing football? Let me keep you in one academy. Somebody sees you, takes you abroad. That's what we tend to do. Yeah.
So you're right. There's a problem. The major problem is that we don't see sports as a business yet. So it's about having a business approach to sports. And then in any business, there are 5 foundations that must be laid. First, you must be able to create value. You must be able to market that value. You must be able to sell that value. And you must also deliver that value and also focus on finance, because every business that doesn't create value is a hobby. Any business any business that fails at marketing is a flop. Any business that doesn't sell the value it creates, it's a non-profit. And any business that fails to deliver a value is a scam. And any business that doesn't focus on finance will definitely fail and close. And that's grassroots football in Nigeria.
All right. So and since you have eloquently put all of this, one will be tempted to ask, what is your level of involvement in grassroots football, and why did you take it upon yourself to correct some of the things you see that is wrong in the system?
Yeah, so basically it's a leadership thing, I used to say the way grassroots football is, we can't leave it for the NFF. It's not NFF business, it's for all of us. And for us we have to be the leaders that we hope
to be.
We have to be the leaders that we hope we have. So if we're not trying to be the leaders that we hope to have, that means we're not ready to change. So I thought about, sharing the struggle. Because I grew up with players that played in the grassroots and had high hopes, but there was nobody to share the struggle with them. So and leadership is really about giving hope, to the people that are in the struggle together. So that's why I'm involved in grassroots sports.
Okay, so since we are at the heart of the matter now, so what are the things you intend to do, or what are the things you have been doing? Your journey.
So far, when we started in 2016, we tried to, give hope to grassroots players, because I grew up with some people that wanted to play football, so sometimes we help.
Didn't know how?
It didn't work out. They traveled outside, but when they got outside the country, it was a different experience. We hear so many stories about these agents. They were fake agents, so I said, okay, let me go into agency to see how I could get it. So I found out that most of the players that were presenting didn't really have the quality or the technical details, and they have zero knowledge about what it takes to play professional football. So I said, yes, we have to educate these people at the grassroots. They need to understand that what it takes to play professional football, which most of the coaches
which can start from the top.
Yes, which can start from the top, which has to start from the bottom, because the first thing is that you won't take this as a career. You have to see yourself as a business. So most of them don't see themselves as a business. Don't see themselves as they need to improve. They need to work on their marketing and all that. So we try to bring this education to the grassroots. And a fundamental part of it is that for you to be a player, you know, you have to create attention for yourself. And most of these players don't have the platform to be able to create attention. But thank God for the internet, thank God for media. So what we're trying to do is to create a platform whereby these talents can be seen. And we don't really have a lot, so we started to use with exactly what we have, what is available, you know, because if you're going to the bank to say, okay, you need the money to build a stadium, it doesn't make sense because there's no business case. And you can't go to the government because the government is not a bank. So you really have to use what you have until you're able to, you know, get the resources that you need to go forward.
Okay, so that's good. So how has it been like? What are the things you've done to help, you know, in terms of educating these people, in terms of, I mean, the goals that you set out to achieve?
Okay, so basically the idea is to take grassroots football to turn it into a business. And then it starts, when you talk about football business, it starts from the major things you need are the players and an audience to sell. So you really have to start by creating a system whereby people can, you know, these players can develop, they can showcase, at the same time they can track the audience. So we thought of coming up with a league, you know, like a showcase league, because you can't play football alone.
Yeah.
You have to play football with people. So
people have to see you play.
People have to see you play. So we went into our community in Bagada. You know, we had some grassroots teams, so we brought them together. Let's play like a league structure so that we can create opportunities for these players to develop and at the same time to promote them. So that's what we've been doing since 2019. Even in 2020, after the COVID-19 restrictions were relaxed, we also had the league going. So it's not been easy because it's basically community-based, supported by the players themselves. Because if you're not ready to invest in yourself, you don't expect
anybody to.
Yeah, to do that. So that's the education that we're giving them. That look, you are a business on your own, and we can do this. Yeah.
How has it been received? Because I was reading up on some of your activities. I discovered that you've gotten 1 or 2 endorsements even outside of the country, your efforts and activities being recognized. But before we talk about what is an endorsement, has it been received here? The people here, football administrators, parents of our aspiring footballers, the footballers themselves, the community you're based in?
Well, the reaction has been mixed, but it's expected because of the mindset of.
Let me ask: okay. Is this what you intend to be in for a long haul, or is something, if it doesn't work, let's try something else?
No, it's something we're going to be in for the long run because I mean, for the next 10 years, this is basically what we'll be doing because. You know what they say about business is that 90% die in the first 5 years.
Yeah,
only 1% survive in the first 10. So we're already like clocking 5 years now. So it's something we're doing for the long run. The dream is to create, you know, what you see in the EPL, to create that in the grassroots because these players really need the opportunities. There's no opportunities for them up there because there are millions of grassroots players that are being developed every day. Millions, and the opportunities up there is not available for millions. So we are willing to, in our own communities, to create leagues that will accommodate these players, not just in Lagos, in Bagada, but over the whole country. Each local government needs to have its own league so that we can actually accommodate these players because, as we speak, only 19 players play in the top 5 leagues, 19 Nigerians play in the top 5 league in the world. Currently. And about 700 are scattered in different countries of the world. So if we're talking about 700 people playing outside Nigeria, in the Premier, in our own league, it's only about 500 or 600 players that are scattered for, and we have millions. So what happens to the dreams of these players? So we need more opportunities. So what we're doing at Topsy is to create a model that every community can copy and run so that they can create opportunities for
on their own.
On their own, yes, for their own.
Okay, let's go back to what I asked you initially.
Yeah.
So how has it been received? You said it is mixed. Mixed meaning some appreciate what you do, some come in way of opposition. What are these guys up to? And some applaud.
Yeah.
Am I right? So
yes, you're right. But you know, in every market, you know, only 3% will happily accept you. You know, when you come in, the rest needs to be educated. They need to be sure of what you do, what you're doing, and you actually need to build their trust and their belief that okay, you're for real. I mean, that's what the Premiership and these top leagues have done all over the years. So you coming in, and then you know, you just need to build the trust and belief, and with consistency, you get there.
So when you now discovered that some of the things that you're doing that is not well known here in this part, that you're getting endorsements. I mean, how did you make you feel? First of all, how did it make you feel that, you know, some of the little things that you're doing is even recognized outside the shores of the country?
It was amazing, but that's the power of the internet. That's the power of you know, digital world that we have today, and it's the power of mindset. You know, the mindset here is different from there, because there they can see the dream, they can see what's happening, because that is what they have done. You know, so they understand that, and you know, they say this is useful to them, because most of there's no opportunities for these African players, because the typical African player will meet these guys online and be saying, hey, I want to try out, help me, this, that. So mine is a different approach. Look, this is what we're doing. If you can just talk about it so that these people can believe, yeah, they get the attention that they need. And we had Arsenal legend, you know, endorse the project. We'll have
Arsenal Kanu Wanko?
No, yeah, he talked about Kanu Wanko, Nigel Winterborn.
Oh, Nigel Winterborn. Okay.
Yeah, so he talked about
former Arsenal left back.
Yes, left back before Paschal played. So he knows about the project, and he's hoping to see the next Kanu. He talked about Kanu, you know, in that endorsement video. And there's also players from the Bulgarian national team who played in Nigeria against USC 94, Emil Kremliv. Okay. And then this other guy, recent Elin Zakov.
Okay.
You know, so they see the dream, but and they want this to happen. So they are really supporting morally, you know, and it gives us the courage that the world is actually watching, and also for us to move to the next stage in grassroots football, which is exporting content instead of exporting players.
All right, I guess that's a good place to leave it. I wish you all the best in all you do. Of course, we're all going to benefit if everything develops from the grassroots. Yeah. And this is hoping that your efforts will yield the results that you want. And maybe the next time we'll be talking about a lot of growth in all the things that you do. We've been having a chat with Paul Agonsi. He's been talking about grassroots sports development. It's efforts geared towards developing football, helping youngsters achieve their dream, and making it a business. That's what he's been trying to do. So hopefully he gets to achieve some of the things he wants to. All right, so we need to go on a break right about now. First, I want to say thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Hopefully we'll get to do this some other time.
Yeah.
Yep. And so go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll come to talk about the Nigerian Professional Football League and other things, all the related issues on the domestic scene.